My neighbor's weekly raves left broken bottles and trash all over my driveway. When I confronted him, he sneered, "Clean it up if it bothers you." I whispered, "Hope you enjoy city fines." His jaw dropped when Sanitation issued him multiple citations for littering. I never thought I'd be the guy writing one of these revenge stories. But here I am. This one's still unfolding, but I've got enough fuel to share now. I live in a neighborhood just outside Philly. It's a pretty average area, middle class, mostly quiet, families, older couples, folks who go to bed by 10 p.m. Or at least it was, until Jake moved in. Jake is mid-30s, real flashy, drives some loud modified BMW, wears gold chains, talks way too loud, and seems to have no job that I can figure out. He bought the house next to mine about 4 months ago. At first, it was just little things, music late at night, the sound of his car stereo booming as he pulled into the driveway. Nothing I couldn't live with. Then came the parties. Every Saturday night, like clockwork, Jake turns his house into a rave. I'm talking hundreds of people. Cars lined up and down the street. People yelling, laughing, some of them definitely drunk out of their minds, some probably high. Music blasting till 3 or 4 in the morning. Every single week. The worst part? The aftermath. Every Sunday morning, I walk out and find beer bottles in my yard. Empty Red Bulls, pizza boxes, cigarette butts, even used condoms one time. Yeah, I wish I was joking. My driveway looks like a garbage truck exploded on it. They even started using my recycling bin when theirs overflowed. The sidewalk? Sticky. My front hedge? Trampled. At first, I tried being the nice guy. I figured, okay, he's new. Maybe he doesn't realize how bad it is. Maybe his friends are the problem. So after the 3rd or 4th weekend, I walked over on a Sunday afternoon. He answered the door shirtless, wearing sunglasses, holding a vape pen. Looked like he was still hungover. Me. "Hey Jake, can I talk to you for a sec?" Jake. "Yeah, man, what's up?" Me. "Listen. I've been waking up every Sunday to trash all over my driveway. Beer bottles, food wrappers, the works. I don't want to be that guy, but could you ask your guests to clean up before they leave?" He stared at me like I'd asked him to paint my house. Then he smirked. Actually smirked. "Jake, it's a party, bro, stuff gets messy. I mean, it's the weekend. Chill out. Clean it up if it bothers you." I stared at him, dead quiet. I wasn't expecting an apology or anything, but damn. That was just rude. Me. "So you're saying you're not going to do anything about it?" Jake, laughing, "What do you want me to do? Pick up after every drunk person that walks by?" Relax, man. It's not a big deal. Me. "Hope you enjoy city fines." I said it quiet but clear. He stopped laughing. For like 1 second, his smile dropped. Then he slammed the door. And that's when I decided if he wanted to be careless, I'd let the city care for him. I started keeping records. Every Saturday night, I'd take photos of the cars blocking driveways. Screenshots of noise decibels using a phone app. Videos of guests throwing cans on the ground. I'd set up a camera behind my blinds and catch full footage of the madness. I even picked up some of the trash with gloves just so I could photograph where I found it on my driveway clearly. Then I got to researching. Turns out Philadelphia does not play around with trash and noise complaints. There are actual city ordinances about this stuff and fines stack fast, especially if they can prove it's repeat behavior. I waited a few weeks. Didn't say another word to Jake. Just kept collecting. When I had enough, I submitted a formal complaint to Philly's Streets Department, uploaded all the evidence, added notes and timestamps. I even CC'd our city council member's office. Not just one complaint, multiple. I sent one every weekend for a month. I was polite, detailed, and clear. My tone was, "I am a long-time resident. I pay taxes, and I don't feel safe or respected in my own home." About a week later, someone from the city actually called me. They were taking it seriously. They told me they'd send someone to observe during the next weekend. I said, "Perfect." That Saturday, Jake did what he always did. Invited what looked like half of Philly into his backyard. Bass shaking my windows. Some dude doing shots off a skateboard on the sidewalk. Normal stuff for them. But what he didn't know. 2 city inspectors were sitting in a parked car down the street watching everything. It only took 3 days for the first citation to arrive. A fat envelope taped to his front door. Littering, illegal noise levels, improper waste disposal. Fine total? Close to $800. The next week, another party, more city presence, more fines. Jake was pissed. He came to my door yelling, "Jake, you snitched? You think that's cool, man?" Me. "I asked you politely. You laughed at me. Jake, I've got rights. Me, so do I. He stormed off, furious. That's where we are now. He's still partying, but not as loud. Not as wild. Not as many people. Last weekend, I saw him picking up trash himself after most people left. It's not over yet. I've got more I'm planning. But I'll stop here for now. Just know this, when someone thinks they're untouchable, it only takes a few quiet moves to remind them who really owns the street. After that second weekend of city fines, Jake went quiet. No parties, no music, nothing. For 2 weeks straight, his house was dark on Saturdays. I actually started to think maybe it was over. I was wrong. Third weekend, around 11 p.m., I was sitting in my living room reading when I heard the bass again. Not as loud as before, but still noticeable. Then I saw shadows moving past my window. Guests. Again. Maybe 30 people this time. Not hundreds, but enough. Okay, here we go again. I went to the window and pulled the curtain back a little. And I noticed something new. No street parking. All of the guests had parked further down the block. They were walking up, drinks in hand, cutting across lawns like they owned the place. Jake had gotten smarter. He was trying to make it look like a quiet get-together. But I could still hear the music thumping behind closed doors. Lights flashing in his backyard. He thought if he kept it subtle, no one would notice. He forgot I was watching. Next morning, I stepped outside and saw it trash again. Smaller mess this time. But one thing stuck out. A garbage bag. On my side yard. It was half full, ripped open, reeking like hell. Fast food, cans, and used napkins. They had actually dumped a bag of party trash behind my bushes like I wouldn't see it. I was furious. Not because of the mess I'd seen worse, but because it felt personal now. This wasn't just some careless guest. Someone had intentionally left it there. On my property. This wasn't a mistake. This was a message. So I sent one back. First, I dragged the garbage bag back across the property line. Then I placed it right in the middle of Jake's front porch. Not tossed, not messy, placed like a package. On top, I left a note, your guests left this. Return to sender. Then I did something I hadn't done before, I talked to the neighbors. Turns out I wasn't the only one pissed. The couple 2 houses down said one of Jake's guests had sideswiped their mailbox a month back and never owned up to it. Another neighbor, an older woman, told me her dog kept getting sick from eating food scraps tossed over her fence. Nobody wanted to start trouble. But I already had. And once they knew I was serious, people started opening up. We formed a group chat. We called it Quiet Street Crew. I shared everything I had: photos, timestamps, city contact numbers. I told them how to file complaints, how to report noise violations anonymously. I showed them where to send videos and who to email. And that's when the twist happened. One of the neighbors, I'll call him Dave, said something that made my stomach drop. Hey, I saw Jake talking to the sanitation guys last week. He was taking pictures of your trash cans. That confused me. My trash cans? Yeah. He was taking pics of them like he was building a case or something. It clicked. He was trying to flip the game on me. That next Monday, I got a letter. Not a fine, but a warning. From the city. About my trash cans not being stored properly. Apparently, someone had sent in photos showing my bins left out past pickup hours. The letter said repeat violations could lead to fines. My blood boiled. He was trying to play dirty now. Reporting me? After everything? He thought he could beat me at my own game. Thought I'd get scared and back off. But all he did was prove how low he'd go. And that gave me all the ammo I needed. Because see, Jake had forgotten one key thing. I'm petty as hell. And I don't start things I'm not ready to finish. After that bogus warning letter from the city, I didn't get scared, I got focused. I went full detective mode. I started documenting my own trash cans. Every pickup day, I took photos, timestamped, geotagged, before and after. I stored them in a separate folder just in case he tried to strike again. You can play at that game, Jake. Then I got creative. I installed a small, motion-activated camera on my front porch. It's meant for catching package thieves, but I had another reason now. I angled it toward my driveway and the path between our houses. I wanted proof in case Jake or his little crew tried dumping more garbage on my side again. Sure enough, a week later, I caught him, or at least someone from his house, walking over to my bins late at night and opening the lids. They didn't drop trash in. No, they took photos. Then they walked back toward his house, laughing. Boom. Caught on video. This was no longer just annoying neighbor behavior. This was harassment. But wait, it gets better. The following weekend, no party. Dead quiet. No music, no people, nothing. Just Jake's car in the driveway and his lights off early. Sunday morning, I come out to water the front plants, and what do I find? A city inspector, clipboard in hand, standing by my sidewalk. He says someone filed a noise complaint on me the night before. Said there was loud music, possible underage drinking, even a fire pit. I blinked. There was no party here, I told him. I was inside all night. Alone. The inspector kind of raised an eyebrow, looking confused. I offered to show him my porch cam footage. Pulled up the app on my phone, scrolled through the whole night. Not a single visitor. No lights. Dead silent. He nodded. We'll log this. Sounds like a false report. Now I was mad. Jake had crossed a line. He was trying to get me fined for imaginary parties. Like he was flipping the script, making me look like the problem. So I flipped it right back. Remember the neighbors from the group chat? Quiet street crew? They were already tired of him, but this pushed them over the edge. One neighbor, Paul, an older guy who used to work in tech, had a drone. I didn't even ask. He just messaged us, want a bird's eye view this Saturday? Yes, Paul. Yes, we do. That weekend, Jake tried another small party. Lights low, music quieter, people entering through the back gate. Trying to stay under the radar. But the drone caught everything. Footage from 200 feet up, backyard full of guests, beer pong table, someone throwing up in the bushes. Clear as day. We sent the footage to the city with location data, time, date, everything. Attached it to an official complaint from 5 households this time. Then came the biggest twist yet. 2 days later, Jake's house got a surprise visit. But it wasn't just city inspectors. It was a police officer, too. Apparently, there were other complaints. Noise was just the tip of the iceberg. One neighbor, not even in our group chat, had reported suspected illegal activity after overhearing some sketchy deals going down at one of Jake's parties. Add that to the drone footage, the complaints, the trash violations. They had enough to investigate more seriously. Jake was not ready for that. I stood in my driveway, sipping coffee, while they questioned him out front. He looked rattled, hands in his pockets, rocking back and forth. All that swagger? Gone. His face looked pale. And just as I was about to turn around and head back inside, he glanced at me. He knew. He knew I was behind it. And he couldn't do a damn thing about it. Because everything I'd done? Legal. Documented. Fair. He wanted a war. So I gave him one. But I'm still not done. This guy's made it personal. He tried to ruin my peace, ruin my name, frame me like I was the bad guy in my own house. I've got more plans. And they're already in motion. Let me know if you want part 4. It gets worse. For him, after the cops showed up at Jake's place, things were tense. No more parties. For a few weeks it was silent, almost too silent. I figured he was licking his wounds. Maybe scared. Maybe finally realizing this wasn't the kind of street where you could treat people like garbage and get away with it. But like all cockroaches, Jake crawled back out. One Thursday morning, I woke up to a crack in my windshield. Dead center. Obvious impact. A rock or something. I have a driveway cam now, but it doesn't point all the way to the curb. My bad. No note. No witnesses. But guess whose car was parked nose to nose with mine overnight? Jake's. Coincidence? Maybe. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. Instead, I got to work. No more half measures. No more warnings. I called every agency I could. Sanitation, code enforcement, noise control, zoning, fire marshal. I started digging. Turned out, Jake's parties violated all kinds of rules, like outdoor fire pits too close to structures, too many guests for a residential zone, and no permits for amplified music. I compiled everything. Then I made a full report. Sent it to the city. Copied the HOA. Copied the council. Copied the mayor's office for good measure. And then I filed a civil nuisance complaint. I was tired. But I wasn't done yet. I took a day off work and went to the courthouse. Filed the paperwork. Paid the fee. Attached all my video evidence, photos, citations, and neighbor witness statements. 2 weeks later, Jake got served. And this time, he couldn't laugh it off. Because this wasn't a fine. This was a hearing. He'd have to show up in court, in front of a judge, to answer for months of behavior. And if he lost, he could be ordered to pay damages, face further city action, even get evicted if his violations broke city code. And here's the kicker. Jake didn't show up to court. He blew it off. which meant I won by default. Judgment in my favor. The judge ordered him to pay me damages for property cleanup, noise disturbance, and court costs. He was now legally on the hook for thousands. When I found out, I didn't even smile. I just felt done. But Jake? He wasn't done being stupid. A week later, he dumped 2 full trash bags in my yard. One split open, rotten food, beer cans, and something that smelled like a diaper. He even left a note on top, "Hope you enjoy cleaning, rat." That was it. No more cameras. No more letters. No more city. I walked over to his yard, dumped the entire bag right onto the hood of his BMW. Smeared that mess across the windshield with my hands. Loud enough for neighbors to hear, I yelled, "Come clean this up, your mess now." Jake came running out shouting, and we got into a full-on screaming match in the middle of the street. I was done holding back. I said things I won't repeat here. So did he. Someone called the cops. When they showed up, I handed them my phone, played the footage of him dumping trash on my property. Told them about the court judgment. Told them everything. Jake got cited again. And this time? It tipped everything over. 3 weeks later, I saw a for sale sign in front of his house. Guess the fines, court costs, and being hated by the whole street finally broke him. Jake moved out. But let me tell you something. This whole thing changed me too. I became obsessed. Paranoid. I lost sleep. I was angry all the time. I got petty. I wasted hours of my life gathering evidence, filing complaints, watching a grown man self-destruct in slow motion. Yeah, he deserved it. Every bit. But I didn't walk away clean either. I became the guy with cameras on every corner. The guy who doesn't trust easily. The guy who fought a trash war and came out smelling like it. We both made mistakes. But only one of us still lives here. And I sleep fine now. Better than I have in years.